Triumph continues to aggressively expand its 400 cubic centimeters lineup with the introduction of the 2026 Triumph Tracker 400, a model that draws heavily from flat-track racing aesthetics while aiming to broaden the appeal of its entry-level modern classic range. Positioned below larger displacement machines, the Tracker 400 signals Triumph's intent to diversify character, not just capacity. At first glance, the Tracker 400 clearly separates itself from the Speed 400 and Scrambler 400 through its stripped-down bodywork, flat-track-inspired stance, and more aggressive proportions. Wide handlebars, minimal side panels, and a compact tail section suggest a bike designed to look purposeful and raw rather than polished. Power comes from a revised version of Triumph's familiar 398 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine. According to early information, the Tracker receives a modest power increase and a slightly higher rev ceiling, changes that hint at a sportier character but stop short of redefining performance expectations in the segment. That modest performance bump raises a critical question. Is Triumph offering meaningful mechanical progress, or simply reshaping the same platform with visual differentiation? In a market where competitors are rapidly improving power-to-weight ratios, incremental gains may not be enough to impress experienced riders. Chassis changes appear more promising, with a revised geometry intended to sharpen handling and improve front-end feedback. A 43mm upside-down fork and a preload adjustable rear monoshock suggest Triumph is serious about delivering a more engaging ride, even if outright off-road capability remains limited. Wheel and tire choice reinforces the Tracker's dual-purpose intent. Spoked wheels paired with semi-block pattern tires underline its flat-track influence, but they also reflect a compromise between style and real-world versatility rather than a true dirt-focused setup. Ergonomics are notably more aggressive than the Speed 400, with higher foot pegs and a forward-leaning riding position. While this may appeal to riders seeking a more involved experience, it could reduce long-distance comfort and everyday practicality. Electronic rider aids such as ABS and traction control are carried over, providing a safety net that is now expected in this class. However, Triumph stops short of introducing advanced riding modes, keeping the Tracker firmly in the accessible but basic category. Pricing has not been officially confirmed, but expectations place the Tracker 400 as one of the more affordable models in Triumph's 400 range. This positioning could make it attractive to younger riders, provided the styling resonates beyond novelty. Ultimately, the Tracker 400 feels like a calculated move by Triumph to inject personality into its small-capacity lineup, though its success will depend on whether riders value character and design over clear performance advantages. The 2026 Triumph Thruxton 400 approaches the same 400 cubic centimeters platform from a very different angle, reviving the iconic café racer name in a smaller, more accessible package. For Triumph, the Thruxton badge carries historical weight, and its return in this displacement class is both strategic and risky. Visually, the Thruxton 400 leans heavily into classic café racer cues, including a sculpted fuel tank, rear-set foot pegs, and low clip-on handlebars. The design clearly targets style-conscious buyers who value heritage as much as horsepower. The same 398 cubic centimeters single-cylinder engine powers the Thruxton, tuned similarly to the Tracker. While responsive and refined, the engine's familiar character may disappoint riders expecting a sharper or more performance-oriented tune to match the Thruxton name. Triumph's conservative approach to engine tuning suggests an emphasis on reliability and emissions compliance rather than chasing class-leading figures. This strategy may appeal to new riders but leaves enthusiasts questioning how sporty the Thruxton 400 truly is. Chassis geometry and ergonomics are where the Thruxton attempts to differentiate itself most. Lower bars and a more committed riding position promise improved front-end feel, though the real-world difference compared to the Speed 400 may be subtle rather than transformative. Cast alloy wheels and road-focused sport tires reinforce the Thruxton street intent, prioritizing grip and agility on asphalt. However, weight figures remain close to its siblings, limiting how far the handling can be pushed without further reductions. Modern essentials such as ABS, traction control, and a torque assist clutch are standard, ensuring the Thruxton meets contemporary expectations despite its retro styling. Still, the absence of more advanced electronics highlights its entry-level positioning. From a design perspective, the Thruxton 400 is arguably one of the most visually cohesive bikes in the lineup. Yet critics have already noted that some components, particularly at the rear, appear cost-conscious rather than premium. Expected pricing places the Thruxton above both the Speed and Tracker 400, a decision that may polarize buyers. The premium seems driven largely by styling and branding rather than mechanical superiority. The Thruxton 400 reflects Triumph's broader strategy with its 400 cubic centimeters range. Reuse a solid foundation while tailoring image and ergonomics to different rider identities. Whether that approach is enough to satisfy increasingly demanding buyers remains an open question. Taken together, the Tracker 400 and Thruxton 400 highlight Triumph's confidence in its 398 cubic centimeters platform as a long-term foundation rather than a short-lived entry-level experiment. By spinning multiple identities from the same mechanical core, Triumph is clearly prioritizing brand reach and lifestyle appeal over rapid technical evolution. This strategy, however, exposes a potential weakness. As competitors in the small and mid-capacity segments continue to raise performance, technology, and value benchmarks, Triumph risks being perceived as overly conservative if future updates remain largely cosmetic. From a consumer perspective, the real decision may come down to emotional connection rather than objective performance. The Tracker 400 speaks to riders drawn to raw, motorsport-inspired minimalism, while the Thruxton 400 targets those who romanticize classic café racer culture in a modern, approachable form. The challenge for Triumph will be ensuring that these distinct visual and ergonomic identities translate into genuinely different riding experiences. Without that separation on the road, buyers may question whether they are choosing a motorcycle or simply a different costume on the same machine. Ultimately, the success of both models will depend on pricing discipline and real-world ride impressions. If Triumph can deliver authentic character without stretching budgets too far, the Tracker 400 and Thruxton 400 could strengthen the brand's foothold in the global entry premium segment.